What is going on, everybody? It's Matt from Outside of the PNW, and today we are unboxing and setting up the Danchel Outdoors Titanium Wood Stove. Let's do it. So full disclosure, I know absolutely nothing about this stove. I've used hot tent stoves before, but this is my first time ever with the Danchel Outdoors. I don't even know if I'm saying the name of the product correctly, so let's just open it up and see what we got going on in here. So got some lovely bubble wrap on this thing, which I'm sure my kids would love to play with. And we are probably going to need a knife to get this thing open. This knife should be big enough. Let's get this guy out, and here we go. Here we go. Okay, looks like it comes with some instructions with even a little QR code for a setup video. That is fantastic. We probably won't need that. And then we've got a nice little Danchel Outdoors carrying case. Very cool. Let's open this up. Nice blue and orange with the Danchel Outdoor logo on it. Very nice. Next up, we got a pair of size extra large gloves. So if you do not have big, gigantic, meaty hands like me, those might be too big for you. Something, I'm sure that's important. The spark arrestor / top of the stove thing. Here is our pipe, our chimney. This looks like where the chimney is going to connect to the actual stove body itself. And even some little tools. Look at that, a little wrench, a little Allen wrench. Beautiful. And here is the actual stove. I got to tell you, first impressions, this is really light. I think this whole thing weighs about 6 pounds just in holding this thing and feeling it. It's pretty light, and I'm pretty impressed so far. Let's get her opened up and see what she looks like. Let's start with the stove. Look at that. Just gonna slide right out. No tearing of plastic needed. That's beautiful. Okay, I got the Velcro straps for holding it all together. I like that. Those are nice and light. 2 of these guys. Comes with these gloves. I'm already wearing gloves, so I think I'm okay. Hopefully I don't cut myself, but definitely a good idea, especially the first time you're setting up any titanium stove. Good idea to put on some kind of gloves. I'm going to just set those ones aside for now, though. Okay, I didn't watch any videos. Okay, so there's the top, comes right off. Some paper, some protective packaging. I'm betting. Well, that just fell open. Good to know. Let's close that door up. I'm going to put the legs out first. These are very thin. Now we'll flip her over. Let's see if that comes up. That doesn't want to go up. How about that one? That one doesn't want to go up either. Okay, we got some learning to do. And I'm back. Okay, turns out there wasn't much to it. There's just little metal rods right here, and those just needed to be pushed in a little bit. Those were what were keeping it from coming open. So I just pushed those in a little bit, and now it comes right up. Very easily. Feels pretty solid. Fold this one up. And take out a little more protective packaging. Bring this one up. A little more protective packaging. So you guys, this is the cheapest titanium wood stove on Amazon right now. It's got pretty dang good reviews. It feels just a touch flimsy. Like, you definitely feel like you want to be careful with this thing. You don't want to just be reefing on it and cranking on it, but I guess things, I say that as things start to fall over, I guess things that are supposed to be super lightweight need to be a little bit flimsy. So just gonna hit these hinges right here to lock that into place. Let's come around and do this side. There we go, and there we go. Okay, I'm not gonna knock those over anymore. Check this out though. I do like this side. It's got a nice glass viewing window right here. Another one here on the front. Like I said, it feels very light considering what it is. I also like the size of it. It's nice and tall. Feels like there's a lot of room for putting wood in here. I feel like I could definitely get a good fire going in this thing. Let's see about getting the top on. I can feel some sharpness in the edges too. I'm not gonna lie to you. Definitely gonna wanna be wearing gloves. So stove jack usually goes in the back, so I'll put that right there. And then click that dude on. There you go. That is really simple to put together, like incredibly simple. Now that I've done it once, I could probably do it again in about 30 seconds. Let's talk my initial thoughts. I haven't even finished putting this thing together. I do have the main body of it together. And so far, one of the things I love about it is the size. It feels like a nice big wood stove that you could really fill up with some wood. A couple of things I don't love is that it just feels a little flimsy. And again, it's supposed to be super lightweight. It's not very expensive. So that kind of makes sense that it's not going to be perfectly tight and really put together really, really clean. But just a couple of things like these little things right here. A lot of times when you go to put them in, it feels like they want to go inside of the flap right there rather than on the outside. Same thing with the ones up on top when you're putting those on. So you just need to be careful. Also, it's not real, it doesn't go on super clean. Like I had to push this down to really get this to latch on. And I'm wondering if once I burn this thing in, if that's not going to solve all these problems, because these titanium stoves, they got to be burned in before they really are operating fully. So we're going to do that in this video. So we'll find out at the end. I'll definitely come back and revisit how I feel about this thing so far. Next, let's put the chimney connector on. I don't see any screw holes here on the top, so I don't think it's going to screw in. All right, let's see how intuitive this next part is. Okay, pretty intuitive. Got little slider things here on the bottom. That's going to just drop right in, just like that. Oh, I'm a big fan of that, you guys. I like that a lot. I hope that's a good enough seal down there at the bottom. I know the ones that screw in are probably going to give you a little bit better seal. And this must be for, I don't know, probably holding the chimney on. But I hope not. That's a little bit obnoxious. We'll see. It is time to do the chimney. I don't know if you've ever done one of these before, but it is not easy. You do not want to do this with just one person. So I'm going to go grab my son or my daughter, and we're going to try to roll this thing out and see if we can't get it onto this thing. So we got the chimney all rolled up. This is not as easy as it looks, you guys. What you want to do is get like a long broom handle or something, but without the broom on the end, some kind of long round pole. Piece of PVC pipe would be ideal. Lay it down flat along the edge after you've unrolled this thing, and then get some helpers. And remember, the edges of this thing are sharp. My son reminded me of that when he cut his finger because we weren't wearing gloves, and that's my bad. I should have made sure we were wearing gloves. So we got gloves on. We rolled this thing up. We held it kind of tight. This one wasn't quite as easy to roll up as the last hot tent stove chimney I did. And let's try seeing what happens when we put this whole thing together. So I'm assuming that this just goes right on here. And I don't know if it's going to go on the inside. So it does. It goes on the inside. But I'm not 100% sure if that's right. Let's try going on the outside. Okay, so there it is on the outside. I'm now going to move this last ring down as low as I can get it. And that feels pretty solid, you guys. That's on there really well, which makes me really wonder, what the heck is this thing for? I may have to actually look at the instructions and figure out what we're supposed to do with this thing right here. I thought that maybe it went on there, but that feels on there really good, especially considering once I put it in the hot tent, the stove jack's going to be holding this thing up. And I also have this thing right here. This is the spark arrestor that goes on the very top, which I forgot to put on. This also has little hooks on it, so if you wanted to stake out your chimney so that it wasn't blowing over in the wind, you could use that as well. So this feels pretty solid. It's on there really well. There's nothing else holding it other than just its attachment to the stove, and that feels pretty good. You go ahead and just drop her right through your fiberglass opening. Set her down right there. Beautiful. Here we go. Bring it in the stove. Those legs nice and all the way separated. Gently lift this thing up. And I'm just going to keep putting it on the outside of the stove jack. I don't know why. I feel like less likely to get smoke leaking out if I do that. Plus it feels just a little bit more secure on there. You know what I mean? There it is, you guys. We are all set up. We just got to go get some wood, light a fire in this thing, and let it burn in. I should probably read the instructions, figure out how long we're supposed to do that, but I think we're just going to go for it. So I don't want to burn this in with just any old wood, you guys. So I grabbed my dog, my saw, my knife, and we headed into the forest to go cut down some wood. And I cut down a couple of trees. Almost had one fall on me. These were dead trees. I realized it was okay wood, but it wasn't great. I don't want to put subpar wood through my stove on my first try. So then I went over to my buddy Mike's house. He had a bunch of tamarack wood that he had cut down with his bare hands. And I brought that home last night, cut it down to size a little bit, split it into smaller pieces. And that's what we're gonna use to burn this thing in. You guys, this thing is ripping already. It's only been like 4 or 5 minutes. It's already starting to show some color on the top of the stove and in the chimney. It is definitely hot. I can feel it. I'm like ready to take off my jacket, and the doors of the tent are still open. I'm gonna keep this thing loaded up with wood. I'm probably gonna damper it down just a little bit so it's not burning quite as hot. The wood will last a little bit longer, and I'm gonna try to get this thing going for about 3 hours. We'll check in every hour or so and see how it's going. Oh my gosh, it is so hot in here. I probably should leave that open, but yeesh, it is cooking in here. So it's been just over an hour. I did reload it with some wood already one time just to keep it burning nice and hot. And it is just pumping out smoke. It is super toasty in here. The tent was soaking wet when I started. It's drying out, especially right here over the top of the stove. It is coming in nicely, getting some nice coloration here on the top. Stovepipe definitely starting to get the color in it that you want to see. Can still see through both the side window and the front window just fine. So far, I'm really liking it. We'll just keep burning it and see how it goes. So we're just over 2 hours in, and this thing is still just cranking out heat. Definitely burning in, doing exactly what we wanted to do. You guys, it was getting so hot in here. I was sweating. I had to take my jacket off, so everything is going exactly how it should. We'll do 1 more hour, and then we'll see where we're at, and we'll go from there. All right, this thing has been going now for over 4 hours. It is still pumping out the heat. I just put one last big load of wood in. I'm gonna go ahead and just let this burn out, and then I'm gonna put it away, and we're gonna call it good for this video. I'll do a full review on this thing later on where I break down all my thoughts about it. But so far, super impressed, very happy with the stove. This is absolutely gonna be one of the stoves I use this winter, and I look forward to seeing what I can do with it. So to put this thing away, I disconnected the chimney from the stove, pulled it out of the tent, took the rings off the outside of the chimney, and I got it all rolled up nice and tight. It rolls up nice and compact, very nice. Put the rings, again, back on the outside of it to hold it into that rolled up shape. Grabbed the stove, pulled it out of the tent, dumped out all the ashes. There was quite a bit in there. That was kind of cool to see all that come out. Then after that, it's just a simple matter of folding up the stove, getting it all compacted back down. It was super easy to break down. Very simple process. You guys got the Velcro straps back on it. Got everything back in the bag, and it is all packed up and ready to go on our next adventure. We got some nice, good winter weather coming up, and I'm looking forward to seeing how warm this thing can keep me when it gets real, real cold outside. So please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already, and I look forward to seeing you on my next adventure.